I have been thinking about relationships, not in the usual sense, not whether a relationship is good or bad, or whether someone is a good friend, whether people like each other. I mean the actual thing that exists between people. Because I recently realized something that should perhaps have been obvious to me a long time ago. Not everyone sees it. If I walk into a room where 5 people are sitting around a table, I don't really see 5 separate people who happen to be sitting around a table. There is also the table. There are the things that have already happened. Who looks at whom? Who interrupts whom? Who makes room? Who doesn't? Who becomes quieter when someone else begins speaking? Who is allowed to be difficult? Who everybody automatically adjusts themselves around? There are currents moving through the room. I see those, or perhaps I feel them. And I have spent a ridiculous amount of my life assuming everybody else does too. Apparently not. Some people really do see 5 people sitting around the table, and this explains quite a lot. I have been listening to BTS's Film Out recently. There is something in that song that I recognize very strongly. The strange persistence of a relationship. Someone can be absent and yet the shape of them remains. The relationship itself has made something. A pattern, a route, a place where your attention still goes. And perhaps that is why some losses and changes in relationships are so difficult for me to understand. Because I assume the other person can see the thing between us too. But maybe they can't. Maybe they see me and themselves and some things we did together, while I see this third thing that has been forming between us for years. That is quite a difference, and I think this is something I need to learn. Not so that I stop seeing relationships. I don't think I could. I see relationships everywhere. Between people, between animals, between a house and the people living in it. Between a garden and whoever keeps cutting things back and planting things again. Between a small town and the water running through it. My dog understands relationships perfectly well without making them complicated. If I hug my husband, he wants to join the hug. If somebody approaches the house, he barks. If he dislikes someone, there is generally not going to be a committee meeting about it. Although he definitely judges. He just doesn't seem particularly confused about the fact that we affect each other. Perhaps that is the part I understand too. We affect each other, and I notice the currents. What I have been slower to understand is that another person might genuinely not experience them with the same intensity. They may not notice when one person is always adjusting and another never does. They may not experience a group as a thing that needs tending. They may not notice the empty place when somebody leaves. They may simply think, there were 5 people, now there are 4. And neither way of perceiving the world necessarily tells you everything. Seeing every current can make you imagine responsibility where perhaps there isn't any, but not seeing them has consequences too. Because if you don't notice what is happening between you and everything around you, it becomes very easy to believe that you are only moving yourself, that your choices belong only to you, that the amount of space you take is simply the amount of space you take. that the noise you make disappears when you stop making it. But it doesn't. Things move around us. People move around us. Animals move around us. Sometimes entire systems quietly adjust themselves around whoever is taking up the most space. And the person in the middle may not even know. I think that is the part I am trying to understand now. Some of us spend an enormous amount of time watching the water, trying to understand what is moving underneath it, trying not to disturb too much. And then sometimes a very large boat comes through.